Okay, here's a effigy of Gigantopithecus blocki. It's the largest ape they've ever discovered. So this is a big boy. I'm shoulder height on him, and I'm just shy of 6 feet. And so if he was rearing up on his back legs, he would be, good 12 feet tall. I want to go kind of crazy on this one and talk about how Bigfoot, because this would be, if there was some animal that was actually Bigfoot, it would be one of these. Now, an animal this big is going to create an enormous amount of waste, and I don't think you could hide him. That to have a breeding colony, you need about 60 or 70 of these in the northwest forests of British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. And I just don't see it. It might even take 120 such to create a sustainable colony of these. But anyway, I believe they're actually blamed. There was a man named Pallades that wrote a series of books, and you can hear them all the time. They're Missing 411. It's about all the people that go missing in national parks. Now he comes to a different conclusion than I do from it. Now he blames it actually on Bigfoot, because if you go to his website, now the books he writes about the people who go missing in national parks are pretty dry, but if you go to his website, it explains who he thinks actually does this. I believe they're satanic death cults that are having a what they do is, and here's some pictures of some virtually all pagan cults and Luciferian cults have a person during the festivals that dresses up like a giant wolf creature. There's different flavors of it, obviously. There's even an actual pagan cult called the Cathedral of the Werewolves, which has actually gained ground lately. But much like the Jeffrey Epstein and the sex thing, these true Luciferians grab the children for ritual sacrifice. Adrenochrome, you may have heard about. But sometimes, if you look at Missing 411, like they'll find this child will be with their parents, and he'll go missing right around him. Well, a national park is the perfect place to abduct somebody. There's no cell phone coverage. Even if you're missing for a couple of hours, you're out exploring, or they think you're just kind of wandered off. So by the time you get a park ranger or whatnot, the whole day's gone, and then you can't do anything till daylight the next day. Well, by that time you could be three states over in that short period of time if you've been abducted, especially when it's organized by the people that kind of run the world. They can ferret you away pretty fast. But anyway, sometimes the kids are found alive. Now the missing bodies and the kids that are found in the 401, sometimes they're found 3 mountain ranges over and another 2,000 feet up in one day, which, how can you explain that? But sometimes the children, if they're small enough, like 5 or 6, they're actually found alive, and they all tell the same story, that this large dog kept them warm at night, a large talking dog. Now, Pallades thinks it's a Bigfoot. I think it's a guy dressed up in that wolf costume. And if you were a 5 or 6-year-old kid, or 4, and you saw this thing, you would say it's a large talking dog, because it would talk to him and say, everything's going to be all right, whatever, for whatever reason. Sometimes they don't kill them. Sometimes they just use them for whatever weird thing they do, but they don't kill them. Usually they do kill them, but every once in a while they let them go. Anyway, Pallades believes that it's Gigantopithecus blacki is the descendant or the progenitor of Bigfoot. And I think it's devil worshipping cult. Sorry for the background noise there. I got an incoming call right while I'm shooting something. But anyway, check out The Missing 411 by Pallades. He's done several other books about them, and the reason you can't find out about some of these missing files is because they leave them open. So if a file is open in a federal park, it's unavailable. And if you look up the FBI stats, hundreds of thousands of people go missing each year. Well, the final number that goes missing is about 180,000. Now, some of those people fall in crevasses or eaten by animals, or fall off of mountains and get smashed up and eaten by scavengers or whatnot. But the Satanic Wheel of the Year, which has 8 spokes in it, those are the high satanic holidays and the high pagan holidays. Some of them actually out and out worship Lucifer. Some of them are just another guise of Lucifer. But anyway, they all have the same 8 holidays. God has 7 holidays, and Satan has 8. And they call it the Wheel of the Year. So it's the shortest day of the year, the longest day of the year, the 2 equinoxes, and then the cross pieces of all of them. So pretty much all of them have standardized themselves around the Druidic year. So I'll just go through that one right now. So the year begins and ends with Samhain, if you look at the spelling of it, and that's Halloween. That's the big one. It's got a 3-day festival. So they'll sacrifice people on all 3 of those days. The next one's Yule, the shortest day of the year, which corresponds to Christmas. Now, Jesus was born on the Feast of Tabernacles, which happened in, depending on the year, there's some argument, but it would be late September, early October. And you can tell that because the shepherds were out with the lambs in the field. They wouldn't be doing that in the winter. In winter, they would have been cloistered in a barn or their version of a barn or a corral. They wouldn't be out in the field watching them eat hay. There wouldn't be any. The next one is the fire festival that happens right at it's called Lunisong, and it's right around Groundhog Day. Then there's Ostara, where we get the word Easter. Now, the Bible only mentions Easter once, and it's in how a pagan celebrating it. Christians celebrate Passover, not Easter. The bunny is a fertility rite, and God hates it. You celebrate Passover, not Easter. Then you've got May Day, which is the big communist day. Then you have Midsummer. It's also called Litha, and it's the longest day of the summer. And then you go back to Mabon, and the wheel starts over. So there's 8 holidays, and they need party favors on all these days. So the people missing on the milk cartons and the ones that get missing on 411 are used by these things. Now, before you dismiss this out of hand, I'd like you to look up Ben Franklin's home in England. They found and they radiocarbonated the skeletons of these young children in his basement to the time he was the ambassador. He was basically the ambassador for the colonies to England, and they were going to redo his house there and make it into a tourist trap in London. And as they're redoing the cellar, they found all these children's bones that were there from when he was doing it. So he belonged to this thing called the Hellfire Club, and it was an admitted sex orgy thing, but they also killed people. So all these things are the same thing. The Ordo Temple Orientalis, the Illuminati, Skull and Bones, Bohemian Club, Hellfire Club, the whole New World Order is a satanic dead-end street. Anyway, thank you. I'm out.